What is up, guys? Ben Allen back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about how you go about recertifying your NREMT as a 68 whiskey in the United States Army. But without further ado, let's get to it. Alright guys, so first off, before we get into the video, I just want to point out my new patch wall that I got over here. They're not on these shirts that I had. I switched up my whole area. I got a ring light, so that's dope. That's why the lighting looks pretty decent now compared to my other videos, right? And yeah, this past week, guys, so jumping straight into the topic, I was in Fort Sam, Houston, doing a recertification course. Table 8 is what it's actually called, right? It's a whole week-long course. Sometimes it can be 2 weeks depending on what day it falls on, because they don't do it on the weekends. But yeah, so pretty much you go, it's like death by PowerPoint, and honestly, it's not as boring as you would think it is, right? Because like me, in my unit, we hardly did any medical things. We were like in the motor pool most of the time. We were doing details. So to get that refresher and go through that class again, to me, it was awesome. Like, I enjoyed learning, or relearning, I should say, all the medical stuff, things like that. So each day hits on a particular topic, right? Whether it's environmental emergencies, you know, trauma, your medical assessment, just everything you pretty much learned in AIT condensed into like a week-long course. And you only do this course around every 2 years once you're getting ready to recertify on your NREMT, because you have to stay valid, right? You have to keep constantly updating it, things like that. So pretty much what they do is they send you this class, Table 8, and it gives you CEUs, Continued Education Units, I think is what they're called. But regardless, they give you points towards your recertification, right? Once you finish the class, they'll give you a certification that says, hey, this guy's completed it. They put it into the system called MODS, which is what pretty much tracks your progress and how many points you have, how many credits you have in order to recertify. And so you go through the whole classroom portion, right? And usually the classroom portion is the first half of the class. And we went there at like 7:30 until 11:30 for the first half. And that's all PowerPoint, things like that. When you come back from lunch, they do the hands-on skills. So the skills that you 68 whiskeys right now that are going through AIT that have to test on is exactly what we have to test on as well. You know, we have to do the direct line IV, the saline lock, the tourniquet, the ETB, pretty much all those ISVs, right? Individual skills validations. And also, guys, with that being said, stay tuned, because while I was there, whenever we got a lunch break, me and 2 other of my friends would stay behind, go to the room, and use all the materials that we had available to us to pretty much film each individual skill validation for you guys. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be dropping 12 videos over 12 days starting, I want to say Monday is when I'm starting it. So guys, that is going to be some tremendous knowledge for you future 68 whiskeys, or if you're just thinking about going to the recert class, you know, in order to get those continued education credits. But regardless, had a great time filming that, made some great friends. But back to this, right? So you test out, you do, you know, your individual skills validations. You know, I want to say we started like on the 3rd day, and so we knocked those out, and then you know, some more classroom portion. It's just, again, going over stuff you learned in AIT. So, you know, hot weather injuries, cold weather injuries, things like that. You don't get really tested on those, but you get tested on the main trauma assessment, medical assessment, and the skills validations. And so, you know, we relearned our medical assessments. Friday was our test out day for that. So we each had to do 2 medical assessments that day. They brought in like actual casualties, right? People to play them. And it was pretty smooth, guys. Like, I feel way more comfortable with my medical assessment now than I did back in AIT. And that's crazy, because I almost bombed that shit in AIT, you know what I mean? But it was good. It was good. And this one is so smooth because they taught me an acronym. I remember the entire medical assessment just based off that acronym. Helped me out tremendously, you know what I mean? And so yeah, passed both of those, right? And then Saturday was our trauma lane test out day. And trauma, dude, like trauma lane, the trauma assessment, that's my shit, bro. I'll kill that in my sleep. Like, oh my god, it was phenomenal. Like Friday afternoon, once we finished medical assessments, we got a little walkthrough. So me and my buddy, we went through it, and we finished that shit in like 4 or 5 minutes. We just attacked that shit. I took the top, he took the bottom, fucking, we just bam, knocked it out. And it was good, because another thing that's great about these research classes is there's gonna be people from varying levels of experience in their craft, right, in their medical craft. And this one dude, bro, oh my god, I thought he was annoying as shit when I first met him, right? He was just blurting out the questions, answering every single question spot on when the instructor would ask. And you know, like, typically that's how people react. You know, they're like, okay, this guy, like, he thinks he knows everything, blah blah blah. You know, like, old me, like, and I can say this, guys, because I've grown out of it, but old me would have been jealous. He would have been pissed that somebody was smarter, better than me, and knew more than me. But this time around, like, I caught myself thinking like that briefly in the class, right? I was like, yo, what are you doing, man? Like, this guy knows more. Like, he's answering these questions correctly. Like, people should be applauding that, not, you know, knocking him like I was in my head. And so I made the decision right then and there, like, yo, this dude is better than me. Like, he knows more than me. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna fucking be this dude's best friend. I'm gonna partner with him any chance I get whenever we're doing these skills, because that's gonna make me better. That's gonna make me a better medic. It's gonna teach me shit I don't know. And guys, it turned out great. I've retained a bunch of knowledge, made I made a new best friend out of that dude. Like, fucking, it's awesome. He's actually the guy that's going to be doing the demonstrating in the new individual skills validation videos I'm going to be dropping. So stay tuned for that. Super smart, guys, and just seek out people that are better than you, because in the end, that's going to make you better. Put your pride aside, humble yourself, and go seek out that knowledge, all right? And yeah, so Saturday, tested on the trauma lanes, finished those in under 10 minutes, right? You have 30 minutes for the whole thing. You have 7 minutes to treat any life-threatening injuries and, you know, get that first stick if you need it. But guys, it went by super smooth. Like, I'm telling you, like, when you go to Recert, don't be scared. It's going to be easy as long as you pay attention and, you know, you get that hands-on experience, right? Because at the end of the day, whatever you learn is whatever you're going to apply. And another tip for this is when you're doing the hands-on portion, you're practicing. Practice as if you're gonna be doing the actual assessment, like as if you're getting tested, because there was people that would just kind of go through the motions, practice, and when it came to test, they started testing like they were practicing and they weren't putting their all into the practice. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, play like you practice, right? You want to train as if you're doing the real thing. That's going to help you out a lot, because it becomes muscle memory and it becomes fluid. Like, you're on it. You know what you have to do. You can be doing multiple things at one time just because you know exactly the step process. And that's pretty much how recerting as a 68 whiskey goes. You go to table 8s, you know, you finish the coursework, you test out, and then they put it in the mods and you're good to go. The only thing that you have to do kind of on your own is you have to get 24 CEUs on an online portion, right? It's on Relias Health on one of the Army websites. You click the class, you read it, you watch the video, you take a test, and you need 24 of those credits. It can be kind of time consuming, guys, but as long as you knock them out, you get those 24. And then once your BLS card is up to date, you got the 24 credits, you've done table 8. Once recert time comes around, it's going to say recert, just pretty much like a big red button on the NREMT page. Click it and bam, you are good to go. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Gave you a brief little lowdown on how table 8s goes, how to recertify as a 68 whiskey, right? So all you future 68 whiskeys, once those 2 years come up, you're gonna be doing this stuff, right? So make sure you retain that information, keep your books, study, keep at it, you know, constantly be improving, seek out people who are better than you, because that's what's gonna make you better. And also, guys, last but not least, stay on the lookout, because Monday I'm dropping the individual skills validations. These are gonna help you out if you're in AIT, you're going to the table 8s class, just in general. We go step by step, guys, on how to do these skills. So I feel like it's going to benefit you, and I would really appreciate it if you like this video. Comment down below what you're most excited for about being a 68 whiskey, or just doing table 8s, or just recertifying in general. And also subscribe to this channel if you aren't already. Even if you're not signed into your account, I highly encourage you guys to sign in. It takes like 1 minute, and please subscribe. It really helps us out. We've been growing pretty fast, honestly, guys, and I want to keep that momentum, and we're gonna do just that with y'all's help. So please hook it up, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later.